Deb. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're not new. If you are new, welcome, and I hope you like what you see, and if you do, please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. This I have been requested by two people anyway to show how I made this wedding card. So I'm going to do that today, and I was going to do other cards, but I've decided I'm going to save them for a different video. So let me show you what you need. For supplies first. You're going to need the eyelet lace embossing folder these are all Stampin' Up products. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the USA. And this is a fairly new one. It just came out with the 2019-20 annual catalog, I believe. Don't hold me to that. It might have been occasions. I can't remember. You're going to need the Path of Petals bundle. It's currently bundled in the new annual catalog. And you will need the stamps, this Best Wishes on Your Joyful Day, and also this sentiment under it for the inside. And you will also need the dies, and the die, there's only 3 dies in here, and the one you're going to need is the largest one. You will not need the small oval or the other piece, but you will need this one. You will also need the Be Mine stitched framelits dies. The number might have changed on those, and they may just be Be Mine dies now. And the 3 that you're going to need are this fancy one, which will look like this when you're done pulling it out. And you will also need some champagne foil paper, or sheet, I guess they call it, not paper. So I've already cut this out, and there's a little heart that pops out here, and you want to keep that. I have set that aside. You will also need these 2 pieces. Now, if you just use this piece, it will just cut a scalloped heart border. So you're going to need this piece, which won't cut out, it just will stitch a heart if you don't add it with this piece. So these 2 normal shaped hearts from the Be Mine set, and they will give you these 2 pieces. And it's not really important that you have the stitching, and it's not really important that it be super even. It is important they fit together properly, because that's going to be your backing for this heart. Okay, so they're going to go like that. Okay, so those are what you need for that. So that is, I think, all the dies, embossing folders, and stamps. So then you're going to need an A2 size card base, which is 5.5 by I'm going to get this wrong, by 8.5, and then scored at 4 1/4, so that you have a 5.5 by 4 1/4 card base, and you're going to use it this way. Okay, then you're going to also need the following: 2 pieces more of gray granite cardstock, and they will be 4 inches by 5 1/4, so they're 1/4 inch smaller than the card base. So these are mats for inside and out. Then you will need the same size, 4 inches by 5 1/4 of champagne foil. You will need 1 strip of champagne foil that's 1 inch by 5 1/4. That's for the inside. You will need a piece of Whisper White, 4.5 inches by 3.5 inches. That's for the inside. So these 2 are for the inside, as well as one of these. Okay, there's your inside. These are for the outside, and we're going to die cut out of this. And we're going to die cut with this out of the foil. Okay, save that piece, because you see I used the one I did on this card to cut out my fancy heart this time, so I don't waste my foil sheets. In fact, I even kept this one because I thought I could use this for a little, I don't know, a butterfly or a flower or something, you know, somewhere along the line. So I saved my little bits that are big enough to get something out of, and we have a lot of little butterfly and flower dies and things. Anyway, you will also need a piece. Now this one, maybe here I could get something out of yet. You'll also need another scrap of Whisper White that's 1/2 inch, and that is for the banner piece here. So 1/2 inch by about, what is that? Hang on. And I'm going to give you, it's an estimate, at least 2.5, maybe 2 3/4, because you're going to lop off some. And I probably used the triple banner punch on that, but you can manually cut it if you're good at cutting a flag. I'll probably use the triple banner punch, so I apologize, I forgot about that. And then glue dots, glue and dimensionals, because we are going to bump up the champagne onto dimensionals. Okay, so with that, let me go ahead and die cut this and I'll be right back. Okay everyone, now when I did this, I ran it through in my machine with the precision plate in, back and forth and back and forth. I find that with foil sheets I usually need to do that, especially when there's a bunch of little intricate things. And then I don't usually take the brush on foil sheet unless it's really a lot of detail. I have a little pokey tool, or you could use the one from your take your pick tool, whatever you have, and I just go around then and pop these little ones out. And I will say, when you're pulling this out, what I did is I just kind of wiggled it back and forth a little bit till some of them started popping, and then I really carefully went around a little at a time and gently pulled it out. You don't want to just rip it out, because if you're not gentle, it will tear. And I don't know if you're seeing this, but some of these are shaped like little flowers. You could save them and use them on something. I did not use them for this card. I don't think I saved them the last time, honestly, but you could use them as embellishments on another card. And champagne foil sheet, probably all the foil sheets, it has like a vinyl coating or something. I think between, it must be a coating to make the foil adhere to the paper, maybe. I do find I see that sometimes, but not always. So I'm not going to bore you with me going around and getting these out. I'm just gently poking them to get all the little open pieces out and gently pulling where necessary. So let me finish that and I'll be back. Okay, so now we're ready to stamp. I have gotten all the bits out and I'm ready to assemble once we have our stamping done. So I brought out the Stamparatus, and forgive the dirty paper in the background. And let me make sure I have this. Okay, it starts with here's to, this is the inside. And we're going to stamp it in gray granite on Whisper White. And I'm just trying to line this up, and I have to stand up. I'm trying to line up the bottom with the bottom across here. Actually, on the first one, I think I lined up in between these two lines of prose. And then when I put it down like this, I also tried to make sure it was pretty straight across. It looks good to me, but my eyes are not always the best. Now it looks a little crooked to me. No, I think it's all right. Okay, so I'm going to pull out gray granite, This is, I don't use this color very often, but I thought it was the best match in the grays, or the neutrals I should say, for the champagne color foil. And I'm not going to worry about that right now because it won't touch. And let's hope that here looks like it has a little much ink on it. Beautiful. I think it turned out beautiful. Let me see if it looks straight. Yes. All right. So now what I do normally is either I have baby wipes nearby, but I'm out of them, or I use my chamois and I just fold it, fold it and clean it with my chamois. I actually do have a second chamois, but I haven't opened it yet to use it, and I was going to cut that one in half and use it specifically to clean my stamps on my Stamparatus. And then I keep my chamois in a small stamp case, and that keeps it moist as long as I need it to be moist. So I'm going to leave that on there for now, just for time's sake. And then we have one more stamping to do, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. And that is the front of the card, best wishes on your joyful day. And I am going to do this on this mat here, which I have, it's the piercing mat. And I have it wrapped in copy paper. And I'm going to try and do it, I'm going to turn it this way and do it off to the side here, because I have my little bits laying on there. And I did save those little, they almost look like stars or little flowers, and I'll use them on something else soon, because otherwise I will lose them. I'm just stamping this with this. Now I don't want it too far over from the left side. Oh, I did good. Sometimes I get pretty crooked on mine. So that's it. It stamped really good. Because these are photopolymer, it's best to have a mat, and when you use your Stamparatus or similar tool, make sure you have your foam mat also in it, so that, and mine was under the paper, so it was in there. All right, so let me set that aside. And now we have to, I'll wait and trim this back after we get the heart in. Well, no, I won't. I'll do it now. I can always adjust it later, right? Oops, I already got it out. Oops. So I'm using the triple banner punch. And how I do it, oops, you put it in the middle. Sometimes I don't always get it right, and I put it with the words facing down to make sure I don't start to see words in here, because if I do, that means I've gone too far. Oops. And I think that should be, it's a little, it might be a little too long. Yeah, I think I need to take it down just a little bit more and try and get it centered. I think that'll be all right. I think that should be all right. Not quite a perfect. Yeah, one more try. I don't want to take a lot off. I just want to maybe make it more even. We'll see. All right, I'm happy with that actually. Okay, so I think that'll be all right. Sorry, put that in my drawer. Now we're ready to assemble. So the first thing we're going to do is get these ready. And what I did is I carefully sort of hooked them together. I use a different glue. You could use your fine tip glue. And what I did actually is I think I put the glue on this and then I laid these down. That's probably what I did. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is a very fine tip. Or you could put your, you can get these bottles on Amazon. And what you can do is put your Tombow, your multi-purpose glue in them. but it might just be easier to use your fine tip glue. Or if you have those adhesive sheets and put it on the back of this detailed heart, I guess you could do that too. And you know what? I have some of those and I forget about them all the time. I'm sorry guys, that's my phone. And I'm going to try and carefully put these down with them together. We just need something as a backing for this, and it was the right shape. It needs to go up just a little bit. There we go. And that's it. And now, actually, I think I want it up. That's all right. It'll be all right. Okay. So now we have our card base. We have our eyelet lace backing, which we're going to put down next. All right, so let's just glue that down, and I'm going to use that same glue. I like to use wet glue when you have an embossed piece because of the what do you call it, the design in it. You know, I don't feel like the tapes will make it stick as good. Sorry for the scratchy noise, but you can just dab. Now this, you could use your Tombow for sure. In fact, it probably would be better. And let's just try and line this up as best we can, centered on the card. Okay, that's that. Now we're going to bump this up on dimensionals. And we're going to use quite a few. We're going to put about 3. So I'm going to start in the corners, 3 in each corner, I mean. Because I can't put any, oops, I can't put any down here. So I want it to be sturdy on the corners. Alright, so what I actually did is I put 3. Now, actually, you can use your edges here, and they would be perfect down along here, and we may still end up doing that, but I'm going to just move this over as close as I can to this design without it being showing on the outside. That one I'm not actually very happy with. It's too close to the edge. You don't want it showing through your, that one's better. Your, you know, people can see it, but you don't want it to be obvious, right? When people look at the card. And that one's too close to the design too. Okay, so 3 like that is how I'm doing it. And right about there. So about 1/8 of an inch up from the edge, but you know, not too close to the design here, and same over here. And one more. Okay. Like that. Okay. So now, let me push that down. Actually, that needs a tad. See, it's still bumping up a little bit. Sometimes I don't want to do it on the eyelet, but sometimes I take it with my bone folder and just rub from the opposite direction. Sometimes I do it on it. I'm thinking I need a little touch of extra glue right in that bump there. And now I'm going to have a little bit of glue there, but I want it to lay flat. There we go. Okay, so let's get all these off. Yeah, there's a lot. There's, what, 3, 6, 9, 12. But it's worth it. You don't want your card falling apart, right? So it's a pretty easy card to do, and I will be putting this card up on my blog with the dimensions and all the products. So if you're interested, I'd love to have you purchase from me. I'm trying to see which way I had this going, and it was this. It doesn't matter because it's the same here and here, except that this was a loopy one. I actually had it this way because these are more loose here. It doesn't really matter, but and now the trick is line the top edge and the bottom edge up with that eyelet lace and get it straight so that that piece edge doesn't show. There we go. So just pick one edge and the top and bottom and just make sure they're lined up. Now we glued the heart down, and that actually helps this stay together better as well. So we're going to glue this heart down. I see I had it down just a little too far on part of it. And we're going to glue that down onto the eyelet. Right in about, and try and get it centered as best you can. You don't want it to be under those, but that's pretty good. And then this will bump up on dimensionals also over the heart. See, not so bad, pretty easy. And I'm going to put one, I think I just put three. One in the middle, and one down here. Let's see which way I want to go. This way, I guess. And then the last thing we do on the front is place this, well, not the last thing, the next to the last thing, place this over the heart. And I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to get my take your pick tool, and I'm going to use the putty end. I'm picking up, now on the other one, I actually had a little white heart also, and I put the two together so that it was a little more dimensional, but because this is already dimensional, we don't really need another one on there, and I don't have another one because I didn't cut out a white one again. So there's our little heart. I have a little bit more space on this side on this one than I did on the other one. So that is the outside of our card. And now for the inside, it's really easy. We're first going to put down this strip onto our eyelet, and I'm going to use the Tombow. Let me get rid of these dots here, because if I don't, they'll be on my arm and I'll be wearing them. And I don't want to use a lot because I don't want it gooshing out as I goosh it out. So we're just going to dot it. And again, this is 1 inch by 5 1/4. So it's the same length as the eyelet piece, eyelet lace piece. And you just want that right at the edge. Ugh, and it moved on me, of course. And someone had told me that if you get a little glue on your foil or whatever, use a damp towel or a damp cloth. I don't happen to have one of those right here, so I will have to get that later. And then this piece, we're going to do the same thing, and we're just going to, hang on, see, this is crooked. This is going to drive me nuts. Luckily, you have a little bit of forgive time with the wet glue, which is why I like to use it for stuff like this. And just go like that, rub it down. Okay. Let me go fix that and I'll be right back. Okay, it's a little better. So now I'm going to glue down our inside sentiment. Because I want to make sure I get it on straight on here before I glue the whole piece down on the inside of the card. And this you could use snail for or something, but again, it's going on foil and also eyelet. And we just want it about halfway over the foil, roughly. About 1/4 inch on the edge here. That looks pretty good to me, I think, yes. And I'm just going to take my bone folder and rub it and turn it upside down and rub it. And there we have it. And then let's glue that into the card and we'll be done. So pretty easy wedding card, but it's gorgeous. The foil really does it, and the Path of Petals bundle with the dies and the verbiage, the sentiments, just beautiful for a wedding. Now this part is also a little tricky for Deb. It's getting it straight in the card. And that looks pretty good to me. And again, I'm going to give it a good rub, and if I need a damp cloth on the foil, I will get that after. Okay, so that's it. Let me close my glue up. There's our card. So the only difference in it is that this one, I think I had cut off just a little more over here and maybe a little more over here, but I think they're both beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will put this up on my blog by tomorrow, by Thursday. So if you want the dimensions for sure, even though I've given them to you, and all the products, you can go find them on the blog and have fun with it and use different foils or however you want to do it. You don't have to have the heart in here. You could have, you know, just a smaller heart, like, I don't know. You could do whatever you want. You could have a circle in there, but I like the eyelet lace in the background. Yeah, see, I have glue everywhere. Sorry. I like the eyelet lace. It gives it a little texture. It gives a little texture in here as well. And yeah, there we go. All right, guys, that's all for today. Have a great rest of your Wednesday and rest of your week. I'll talk to you soon. Hugs, love, and peace.